Welcome to Dizzy Resolve. I'm Dr. Vicky Stewart, a dizziness recovery specialist with over 15 years of experience as a vestibular physiotherapist with a PhD in dizziness disorders. If you're living with chronic dizziness, whether it's vestibular migraine, triple PD, MDDS, anxiety-related dizziness, or something your doctors can't quite explain, you're in the right place. At Dizzy Resolve, we bring together science-backed education, real recovery stories, and a whole person approach. So you can move from confusion and fear to more clarity, calm, and confidence. You'll also hear from a range of experts across medicine, movement, mindset, and more, because lasting healing means looking at the whole picture. Please note, this content is for general education only and is not a substitute for medical advice. So always speak with your healthcare provider before making any changes. Subscribe now and let's change what's possible. Hi, Kate. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me about the shift, because we're at the final week of the shift. So you're fresh, you have just finished the program. And really, I asked you to come on just for your reflections about the whole process. But if we start with what you were struggling with before joining the shift, what's your story or struggles before joining the shift?
Okay. I had a few things going on. I had, I was due for my second hip replacement, so I wasn't able to walk very well or move very freely. And I have very, very low vision, so that my vision's always blurry, but I can focus, but it takes a delay. And so I was dizzy a lot and very unstable on my feet. I felt as if I was not in balance, that I could fall over very, very easily. Though I didn't ever fall over, because I have also many years of Tai Chi behind me, thankfully. So I was always able to regain my balance. But when I talked to doctors about it, they never could help really with the dizziness. One of them offered me some pills, and which I didn't take, and there was kind of no solution. And actually, it was ruining my life. I got so that I didn't want to go out anywhere because it was way too hard. Not being able to walk and not being able to see and being dizzy was just too many obstacles. So I stayed home, which I was not particularly unhappy about, but it's a bit unbalanced. So what else did I put? Oh, I've been doing some trauma training actually for a few years, at least once a month for several years. So I had already a few skills to help me to settle down, but it wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. Going nowhere, no social life, really. Everything was difficult to do. Oh, the other thing that went with that was a real difficulty with my energy levels. So everything became really hard I'm a person of ideas and I always want to do stuff, but I couldn't, because I kind of couldn't get myself moving. And
How long had that all been going on for? How long had you
well,
had dizziness?
It's been just gathering momentum for a couple of years, I think.
Yeah,
I
right.
did have a major vertigo event not all that long, maybe 3 years ago, when I had to get carted off to the doctors because I actually couldn't move at all. Every time I moved, I kind of, felt my whole body went away, out of my control. And I don't know what the connection, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. So it's sort of probably since then, I think it just slowly built up. And I can see now after doing the shift that it was very much was a safety issue that was underlying everything, like you say.
And what made you decide to join the shift?
Um, I was desperate. I was desperate. I actually thought I was going to die because I had no energy and I couldn't do anything. And so I thought, that I never had long to live. So I was kind of in a desperate situation. And then I had the interview with you. Can't even remember where I saw, how I knew about you. Actually can't remember. But once I talked to you, I felt, it just really resonated. what you said. I really trust that. I believe that medicine, my picture of how to heal and to get well is much more to do with energies and frequencies and those underlying things,
Yeah.
So our conversation really resonated, and I never had any hesitation about doing it because
And then
that's
what changed for you during and well, obviously you've only just come to the conclusion of the shift this week, but what's changed for you in the process of the program?
well, lots of things have changed. I'm really busy again, but I've also learned from the shift not to be too busy because that kind of doing too much and then crashing, that was definitely one of my
Yeah.
things that set it off.
Yeah.
So I've learned to moderate my behaviour actually in lots of ways, but that's a major one. I'm nowhere near as dizzy, and I actually only get dizzy now if I get exhausted,
Yeah.
or and sometimes I don't sleep, and
So
if I
how
don't
often
sleep
were you getting dizzy before?
all the time, every day, though some days worse than others,
Mhm.
but pretty much every day. Yeah, I'd be really lucky to have a day. No, I don't think I had any days without dizziness.
Yeah.
And so now I hardly ever get dizzy, as long as I moderate my behaviours. Yes. Um, the first thing was right at the beginning. The first thing that really helped was just simply having an affirmation. To say instead of say to just say I'm safe, it's okay, everything's all right, instead of kind of buying into it and going, oh no, and going into a downhill kind of thought pattern.
Yeah.
So that was a very simple thing that really helped a lot to get started. And what else did I write? Oh, realising the causes. Yeah, realising the causes. Like the getting too tired. And that was the main one, really, I think. And also not trying to sort it out all the time. Always trying to work it out. What was causing it and what could I do and what strategies could I have. And realising that actually now that I've sort of sorted that out, that doesn't even matter where it comes from. What matters now is what I do now and
Yeah.
seeing
Oh,
the future. So I've got a positive picture of myself, of my future now, instead of that real difficult down sort of one.
so if you had to say in a sentence what your picture of yourself was before starting the shift and then your picture of yourself now in one sentence, what would you say?
That I would feel physically much freer and much happier. Um, I've got a little grandson who's 4, and we live together. We just shifted this year into the same house 6 months ago, and there's it's such a joy to have little children around, and I couldn't really. I would try, but I couldn't really do much before because I was so uncomfortable all the time.
Mhm.
And so yeah, just feeling all together. It's a bit different life, really. A
Mm.
different, yeah. My picture of life has improved. It's got golden light now. Yeah.
Oh, so you said that you're busier now. Like, what does your days look like now compared to before? And
So
you've already mentioned some of your wins and shifts, but is there any there that you haven't mentioned that you wanted to mention now?
let me see. I'll just look at my notes. Yeah, I think we're learning more about the subtle changes and the subtle things that you can do, and the subtle things that were causing it, and the subtle things that are now changing that. That's a very big thing for me because I was always searching for this information. I
Yeah.
couldn't find it. Um,
So how do you feel about your future now?
I feel very positive, and I've also just had another hip replacement 2 weeks ago.
That's right, of
Second.
course.
So, and that's gone very well. And I've been, doing the exercises and doing all the right things. And I'm fundamentally quite strong and healthy. So I'm recovering really well. So I'm getting more mobile, but I think I see my future as being much more mobile, a bit more social, maybe not so much because I've still got eyes to deal with, and
Yeah.
that's not easy. Um, but yeah, right, and certainly I feel strong like that. I'll probably last quite a while. I'm 77, so I'm getting on, but I think I might last quite a while now, which I didn't before.
Oh, that's so good. And would you recommend the shift to someone going through it? So if you imagine someone sitting here trying to decide whether the shift is right for them, and having you just gone through the program, would you recommend the shift, and what would you say to them?
Yes, I absolutely would. In fact, I've started asking my friends if they know anyone who's got dizzy problems because I feel like a bit of an ambassador for the shift, to say yes, yes, because I know how awful it is to
Yeah.
have no light at the end of the tunnel. And then I think and a lot of people are getting dizzy these days. Seems to be really common. And the doctors just say you have to live with it or they don't know what to do. So yes, absolutely, I would. Yes. I
Yeah.
really endorse it in your work. And I think it's remarkable, your work, how you pulled all these kind of really subtle things together to make something so strong and workable.
Thank
So
you very much, Kate, for coming on and chatting with me and articulating your experience. So thank you.
you're most welcome.
The information provided in this video is for general educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of your physician or other qualified health professional with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment, and never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you have seen or heard on Dizzy Resolve.